The chill that still grips me every time I recall that moment isn't from the breeze that swept through the trees that day. It's from the sheer, paralyzing fear I felt watching my daughter, 14-year-old Lily, hurtling down the steep neighborhood hill in her electric wheelchair completely out of control and heading straight for traffic. Her eyes locked with mine in that frozen second. Terror. Helplessness. One more heartbeat and I would have lost her. Just like I lost her mother. My name is Noah Callahan. After 15 years in tactical operations with the FBI, I thought I had seen the worst humanity had to offer. I've led raids on child trafficking rings, infiltrated domestic terror groups, and negotiated in hostage crises. But none of that prepared me for the nightmare orchestrated by Lorraine Whitaker, president of the Belmead Pines Homeowners Association. 6 months before that harrowing day, Lily and I moved to Belmead Pines, an affluent community outside Boston. After losing my wife Hannah to breast cancer, I needed a fresh start. Belmead was supposed to be safe, clean, and welcoming, a place with good schools and kind neighbors. A place where Lily, who has spinal muscular atrophy and relies on her wheelchair for mobility, could thrive. Lily is brilliant. She's not the kind of kid who lets her disability define her. At 14, she was already tutoring college students in computer science. She builds apps in her spare time, writes code like she was born to do it, and somehow still finds time to help her friends with homework. Her mind races faster than any processor I've ever handled. The first week in Belmead was picture perfect. Neighbors stopped by with baked goods and handshakes. Mr. Kim from next door helped me get our Wi-Fi running. An older gentleman named Samuel Grant offered to lend tools to set up my garage. But one person stood out immediately, not for her warmth, but for her ice. Lorraine Whitaker didn't come with cookies. She came with a clipboard and a frown. Her gray hair was pinned in a perfect chignon, and her tailored suit made her look like she ran a Fortune 500 company. She said she just wanted to welcome us, but quickly shifted gears. She inspected our temporary wheelchair ramp with clinical disdain. We maintain very high standards in Belmead, she said, tone syrupy but eyes sharp. You'll need to file the proper paperwork for any permanent structure. The emphasis on proper made it clear she expected us to remove the ramp, disabled or not. I stayed calm, told her we'd comply. But I knew trouble when I saw it. The real fight began when I submitted plans for a permanent ramp that matched the style of our home. It was clean, subtle, and designed for Lily's independence. The HOA denied it within 3 days. Violates architectural harmony, the letter said. I requested a board hearing. Lorraine presided at the head of the table, flanked by board members. Only one, an ethics professor named Maya Kapoor, seemed uncomfortable with the direction the meeting was taking. Mr. Callahan, Lorraine began, all false concern, we sympathize, but we must preserve the appearance of Belmead. I referenced the Americans with Disabilities Act. She waved it off. The ADA doesn't override our covenant. Other families have adjusted without unsightly structures. My daughter deserves to enter her home with dignity, I said. Perhaps Belmead isn't a good fit, she said, smile vanishing. I built the ramp anyway. Legally. The retaliation came fast. Fines, certified threats, meetings where Lorraine used scare tactics. She showed photos of other ramps in poor neighborhoods, implying we'd ruin property values. But not everyone agreed. Samuel Grant spoke up at a public meeting. That girl helped me fix my email so I could talk to my grandkids. She deserves to get into her home. Support grew. Lorraine grew more aggressive. Then came the sabotage. One morning, Lily called me in tears. Dad, the ramp's wobbling. I think something's wrong. Bolts had been loosened. Not enough to break immediately, but enough to collapse under weight. I installed security cameras, visible and hidden. 3 nights later, Samuel sent me footage, a woman in dark clothing tampering with the ramp. Her posture and gait matched Lorraine. She checked over her shoulder. She moved with purpose. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I dug into her background. What I found, a history of settled lawsuits for discrimination and a juvenile record involving an assault on a disabled classmate. It escalated. One day while working from home, I got a motion alert. Lorraine on my camera in our garage. She knelt next to Lily's chair. Used wire cutters to partially sever the brake cable. Then wrapped it in electrical tape. I froze the footage. Called Lily's school. Called my FBI team. But it was too late. It was an early dismissal day. Lily had already gotten off the bus and was making her way home. Alone. I jumped in the car. Called her. No answer. Then I saw it. Her wheelchair picking up speed on the steep hill. Out of control. She was trying to stop it, but the brakes weren't responding. She was heading straight toward a busy road. Just then, Maya Kapoor, returning from work in her hospital scrubs, ran from her car. With impossible courage, she braced herself and caught Lily's chair, steering it off course. They fell hard, but they lived. Lily had a sprained wrist. Maya had bruised ribs. I reviewed the footage. Lorraine's face. Clear. Deliberate. I called in favors. My FBI team helped me uncover more. Financial fraud, embezzlement, targeted harassment of families with disabilities. I called for an HOA meeting. Lorraine smugly agreed. She didn't know what was coming. That night, with the community gathered, I presented my evidence. Videos of her sabotaging the ramp, the wheelchair, and footage from neighbors. Lorraine denied it. Then panicked. Then erupted. When I revealed I was FBI, she screamed. Said we didn't belong. Said my daughter was a burden. She was arrested that night. The trial made national news. Disability groups rallied behind Lily. Lorraine was charged with attempted murder, embezzlement, and civil rights violations. She was sentenced to 15 years. Belmead changed. Maya was elected HOA president. Accessibility guidelines were adopted. A community that had been exclusive became inclusive. Lily became an advocate. She launched an app for accessible routes. Started a support group. Got accepted early to MIT. As for me, I stayed. This was our home now. I kept working for the FBI but also pushed for better training around disability awareness. For every Lorraine, there are people like Maya and Samuel. People who build ramps instead of walls. If you're ever told you don't belong, remember, justice comes. Sometimes, the quiet man next door is an FBI agent with a daughter who inspires the world. The chill that still grips me every time I recall that moment isn't from the breeze that swept through the trees that day. It's from the sheer, paralyzing fear I felt watching my daughter, 14-year-old Lily, hurtling down the steep neighborhood hill in her electric wheelchair completely out of control and heading straight for traffic. Her eyes locked with mine in that frozen second. Terror. Helplessness. One more heartbeat and I would have lost her. Just like I lost her mother. My name is Noah Callahan. After 15 years in tactical operations with the FBI, I thought I had seen the worst humanity had to offer. I've led raids on child trafficking rings, infiltrated domestic terror groups, and negotiated in hostage crises. But none of that prepared me for the nightmare orchestrated by Lorraine Whitaker, president of the Belmead Pines Homeowners Association.